And we are live today with Mr. Moose, Hustle Sports, day 24 of the Run It Up Challenge. Day 24, guys. We are 3.5 weeks down into this challenge, and it has been freaking difficult, but I definitely want to keep it going. And I'm going to explain again what I've been doing for cash, how I've been playing the 2-game slates to kind of get up and down the games and seeing where I can really create some edges in a small slate. I'm going to talk about tonight's slate, how much money we've made, and I'm going to also mention my big win that I had this weekend on DraftKings in the NALCS. So, as always, guys, this is Mr. Moose coming here with the Hustle Sports Run It Up Challenge. Hustle Sports is where I post daily esports bets, daily esports picks. We were really hot this weekend on esports bets. We went 10-1. And as always, this is where I give you daily lineups for almost every single league competition. The only one I don't do right now is CB LOL, even though I can. I just don't have the time or energy at the moment. So let's get into it. So first of all, guys, I'm gonna update you guys a little bit on what I've been doing. My last video was obviously a week ago or so. That was day 19 or day 20. We did a video talking about what kind of lineups we're gonna be building and for the Thursday night games at the time. And these 2-game slates, I'm really not going to be doing anything special about these. I don't really feel like doing a video for a 2-game slate because both favorites were pretty heavy in these 2 slates. And then yesterday, Rogue Warriors, which we run, destroyed E-Star, so we made some money there. So we did have a tie here in this one LPL slate because I ended up just barely min cashing, getting my money back. I believe I recouped about 95% of my investment that night. So we decided to keep it a tie. And then we have the last 2 wins, and tonight we go into a nice 4-game slate. So going back to our 2-game slate last night, I did something a little bit different than other people. Instead of playing with the typical stack, I went with a 3-4 stack with the WE that I thought we were going to win, and with Rogue Warriors, which I thought were going to be scoring a lot of points as well. So I'm glad to see that that was the case. I think Beishang did a little bit better. Haro did a little bit better than Beishang, but no big deal. That's sometimes how the cookie crumbles in that regard. So no worries. We'll keep it going. So we did cash last night. We moved back to the $450 mark. So $450, and tonight we're going back for the 500 chain. And if I could go on a nice run here, I know I can get 1,000 in a month. So that's kind of my goal for today is, find a lineup I like, and it's going to be kind of rough, but we'll try to do our best. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this NALCS line. I placed 2nd and 3rd in these lines. I had a really good NALCS Saturday, $8,000 in winnings. Basically, what was going through my head was playing somebody that was going to be low owned in a stack with somebody else that was going to be low owned, and seeing how that came out. And Sven Skjern and Golden Glue were my projected 2 most low owned players in the slate because the Golden Glue coming in for Jizuke, I knew that a lot of people were not going to believe in him, and I knew a lot of people were going to expect Cloud9 to win the game and EG to lose. So I used this to my advantage, and I just threw in a couple Golden Glue entries which did really well, as well as Sven Skjern entry which did really well. Zazel is a guy that I included, even though this is his recent best game against C9. He has been absolutely due to everywhere else, and it doesn't even show his most recent score where he put up 40 points, but everywhere else he's been really trash. And then I included Viper here. The top winner included Huni Dardoch, which was a couple points better than me, but good for him. Going in on Huni where I went in on Sven. I thought that Huni's captain percentage also really low. Would have been a nice pick. I don't know exactly. Yeah, he could have even put him in captain slot. And I think Sven scored a little bit, 31. Huni scored 32. And then Glue scored 35. So, yeah, I think Golden Glue was the top choice because if C9 was going to beat EG, then this 0.5% ownership was not going to matter. But since EG upset C9 heavily, this completely changed the slate, and this 4-game slate kind of got rocked. So be careful of that because a lot of people said, oh, okay, well CLG is going to win, C9 is going to win, FlyQuest is going to win, or TSM is going to win, and Golden Guardians are going to win, but you see a lot of upsets. TSM was favored, C9 was favored, CLG was favored. So in best of 1 slates, anything can happen, and the teams are very unlikely to come back and win. So a lot more upsets happen in the NALCS, so be careful. All right, we're going to go and do a little bit, talk a little bit about tonight. And as always, projections provided by paydirt.ghost.io. Projections will be up tonight for that slate. So keeping it short today because it's my girlfriend's birthday, so I want to get out there and enjoy my time with her. So just as I mentioned, guys, check me out. Esports Moose, twitter.com. Moose_esports is where I live, and I'm a big fan of tonight's slate. I like what I see, and if you're interested in getting my final cash lineup for tonight, you can get it at patreon.com/hustlesports. We're getting more members by the day, so we're getting 13 spots left in the early bird package, and then it'll be $30 forever. So, get in while you can now, save money per month, and use my picks to your advantage. I will make you this $25 in one night easy. So let's take a look at tonight's games. We have Top playing DMO, so TES playing DMO minus 2,500 favorites with an over-under of 26.5, looking really good. And then we have JD Gaming playing LNG. LNG not keen on giving up points, therefore the over/under is a lot lower, but the spread is still pretty high. So I am expecting TES and JDG to both 2-0. TES are very good at making kills happen, so they didn't really care about the LNG matchup. They put up 22 kills and 15 kills in the last game. DMO give up a lot of points, so I definitely like to see what I like to see from Top today. Looking forward to seeing them win this match pretty easy. And then in the LCK we have Dragon X, arguably the best team in the LCK, going up against KT Roaster, who are arguably not the best team in the LCK, at a minus 700. Over under only 21.5. KT Roaster like to set a really slow pace, and sometimes teams follow that pace. KT are the team that upset DRX last time, so that might actually still happen again, but I highly doubt it based on the plus 400 ML. And last time they actually put in Smeb at support, and Sowan was in the top lane going absolutely bonkers, and Aiming put up 120 points in the captain spot with 120 points plus the captain spot, so he put up quite a few points. I think that DRX are going to be looking to make their money back on the slate, and this is the only real favorite that I like, that I kind of worried about because of the pace of the game. I think Gen G kind of sets their own pace, and against Dynamics, same over-under, spread a little bit smaller because Dynamics is a slightly better team, but, who cares? Basically, I think that it's going to be kind of hard to pick and choose today, depending on what you want to go with. So let's see what we can come up with, and we'll go from there. Normally, on a slate that's this heavy, you really can go two ways about this. So the way that I always go about it is, if you guys remember, I set who I think is going to win. And then from here, you kind of start messing around. So I have messed around a little bit already, and I can tell you right now that you can actually play, and I'm sure some people will do this because they're absolutely nutty, but you can actually play a full gen DRX stack if you want. You could play this. You could literally play that. You can play this, and you have a DRX gen stack. Totally fine. You will ignore both LPL games, and I don't think that's a good idea. So to not do that and to avoid doing that tonight, I think you do have to get some LPL involved. I think you have to get JD involved. I think you have to get TS involved, especially in cash. I will be getting them involved. So how do we get them involved? Through the use of these two gentlemen right here, 369 and Karsa, about the same price as Chovy, which makes Chovy kind of going to be an under-owned guy in the slate. And Chovy can give you 95 or 100 whenever he wants. So looking forward to that. Obviously, the goal is to fit Knight, but he is really expensive and incredibly expensive for his price. So I think that if you pick Karsa, then you're expecting 100 points on the ceiling end, and then about 80 on the regular end. So one thing to note is that Ruler has been doing really hot, really going off lately, and performing really well. So I definitely still want to include Ruler in my lineup. So I'm just gonna lock him in right here. So here I'll just go with Karsa for now, and then I'll go cheap at jungle. As always, this is our Canyon Clid. They're always about the same price, so I'd take that there. So for top lane, I always want a player that 2-0s. So I want either 369, I want either Zoom, Rascal, or Doran, because I think they all 2-0. Based on this matchup, I think Doran has the biggest ceiling tonight against Sowan, because Sowan's pretty bad. But for the sake of this gen stack, I'll go with Rascal. And then here, I'm going to leave the mid lane open right now because I'll show you guys how it'll fill itself. And then in the team stack, I'll take somebody cheap like DRX. something cheap like DRX or Gen G. I think Gen G probably had the highest chance of scoring cheap, good points. And then at support, you could take Life and risk it with Life with Gen G. Life has been performing so here and there, but primarily pretty good for support, the 2-0s. I'm just going to take Kyria because I just don't know what's going on. I can also pay up and take Yuya. We can take Kyria for now and see where that gives us. That pretty much forces us to take Chovy here, and then we can kind of move up and down how we want. But you can go with something like this and probably be completely fine. Obviously, I didn't fill that lineup, so nobody saw that. You can also, if you like, get exposure through something like Yuya, and then you could take, your last little team slot here and just eat it a little bit on the team. But, based on their averages. But either way, 2-0 is 2-0. So if both teams 2-0, they'll probably have roughly the same score compared to the upside you get of having another TS player. If you say, hey, man, I definitely want more carries in my line, you could go with Jackie. And then from here, you could just take Kyria and you'll have room for another setup. You pretty much mess around and see what you want to go with. I think 369 is going to be heavily underowned today because of his heavy price. Because as you guys can see, it's pretty impossible to fit him anywhere in these lines. I mean, he's really expensive and unaffordable in many ways. So I think 369 is just out of the question right now. I think you're gonna have to go with Rascal, and then you could actually upgrade here to Pioshik if you want to get more DRX exposure, and then you could easily take, JD. You could take Jen. So the way I would get JD involved is try to find a place where they are not overly expensive, where I could still afford them. So you can maybe take like a Loken here, and then here you would take a cheap team like DRX. You would stick back to Clade, and there's your line. And then you get the TS and the Gen exposure with the DRX and the Gen stack almost. You could do something like that gives you exposure to all 4 lines. But my tip of advice for tonight is to not play JD Gaming. I think JD Gaming are a great team, and I expect them to obviously score very easily. But I think that, based on LNG's past performances, they're not giving up as many kills as TES. So I would probably play a Ruler for his incredible performances lately and his incredibly solid performance against DYM just about 2 weeks ago. And then from here, I would just play Yuya and then Phil. So that's kind of my advice for tonight, and I'll keep it short at that. You guys have a great Wednesday night. As always, tonight, you're either going to win with all 4 favorites winning by playing something crazy and the captain, like, I don't know, Klid, Pioshik, Zoom, 369, all capable of scoring a lot of points, or if there's an upset like a KT or DMO upset, then those teams will definitely be the teams you want to be a part of. I will be doing a lot of 4 stacks tonight, so I hope you guys join me with playing the Elder and playing in these tournaments. Good luck to all of you today, and as always, this is Moose with Hustle Sports and the Run It Up Challenge. Take care and have a great rest of the week.